Hi, welcome back to the Peterson Automotive Museum YouTube channel. I'm Jonee Eisen, Associate Curator here at the museum, and today we're up in our Modern Concepts exhibit to look at one of my favorite concept cars of all time, the 1999 Ford 021C, which was designed by Australian industrial designer Marc Newson. Now, this car was supposed to be a little glimpse of the future, and as such, it used a very special technology from the time to make its press kit, and that was a CD-ROM, which I still have from 1999. This is a piece of technology that is defunct, and this press kit is no longer accessible to me. I couldn't find a computer that would play it. So this car debuted at the 1999 Tokyo Motor Show, and it won Best Concept Car at that show. It's called the 021C, which is a very interesting name. It meant to stand for, first of all, the 21st century. This was a car that came out in '99, right on the cusp of the new millennium. And also, 021C is the Pantone code for a specific shade of orange. And this car was originally that shade of orange when it first debuted. About a year after it was shown at the Tokyo Motor Show, Ford repainted it this lime green, but it originally was Pantone Orange 021C. Pantone is a company that produces a list of colors. Every shade of color gets a specific number designation so that it's easy to match colors. And this particular orange was 021C, which we can still see in the badge, which has the words or the numerals 021C still in that original shade of orange. This car was strictly a design study. It was never meant for production. Ford wanted to experiment by using a designer who wasn't a traditional car designer and have him design every aspect of this car. So the overall shape of the car was Marc Newson's, as well as every little fine detail. And he took inspiration from his previous work and put it in this car. He had designed everything from furniture to devices, and we can see it in a lot of the little details of this car. The steering wheel was inspired by a coat hook that he designed, and the overall very square shape but with rounded corners was something from his furniture designs. So the overall shape of this car obviously is a very basic three-box sedan, but with some kind of retro-futuristic flourishes. And Marc Newson was inspired by two things. He said that if you told a child to draw a car, this is the basic shape that they would draw, which certainly was true in 1999. I wonder if that's still true today, as we don't have as many sedans on the road. Also, this car was inspired by another vehicle, the International Scout, which was an SUV built from the 60s to the late 70s. And it too featured a very basic boxy design, but with a certain sophisticated flair to it. I think these rounded edges give it something a little special. And you definitely can see the Scout influence in the front and rear of the car.
I see you bought a new car. This isn't just a car, it's a Scout. Come on.
It's a pretty interesting design and something that I feel is both very much of its age, but then also has a certain timeless quality. I mean, it does look a little bit like maybe the first iMacs that came out around this time, but also because of the simplicity of it, I feel like this car could be released today and we wouldn't really think like, oh, that's a 25-year-old design. Now, at the time, most traditional car critics didn't like it. They said it was very old-fashioned and kind of staid. But really, over the years, it's been reassessed, and I think it's become somewhat of a favorite. It still pops up online in reviews of concept cars. And even at the time, people who weren't traditional automobile journalists loved it. And like I said, it did win Best Concept Car Award at the Tokyo Motor Show in 1999. So one fun design feature is the trunk of this car, which doesn't open like a traditional trunk, but pulls out like a drawer. Unfortunately, we can't show it to you, this being a 25-year-old concept car. Concept cars are really built like a production car. They're not so durable. So we don't have the ability to unlatch the drawer, but trust me, it pulls out and is pretty amusing. It still actually has its original orange luggage in there. It came with a bespoke set of luggage. The luggage was actually made by high-end fashion brand Miu Miu, which was started by Miuccia Prada of the famed Prada family. So the car features a very interesting interior. We've got 4 bucket seats here. Newson wanted to give you a nice sense of space in a very small car. It also has front hinge doors in front, rear hinge doors in the back, so they open like this, giving you a lot of room to get in and out. The front seats also swivel. We see a circular design motif which is carried throughout the interior. All the buttons are little round buttons. You've got these circles within circles in the gauges in the center of the dash. The gauges were all built by Pod, which was Marc Newson's watch company. You've got these interesting circular grates for the speakers, and then this cool squiggle pattern on the carpet, which is repeated in the bespoke Pirelli tires. And as I said, this was a design study. Performance wasn't really something that was considered very important. So it has a very basic 1.6-liter inline 4-cylinder Ford engine, which makes about 90 horsepower, which was fine for a small car like this. This was really kind of a city car. Newsom saw the audience as being young people in their 20s, probably. Maybe this is a first car. It does feature something pretty revolutionary in front and back. We have these light bars that go completely across the car, and these are operated by LEDs, and this was actually the first time that LEDs were ever used on a car. Behind the car, we have this interesting graphic on the wall, which is a montage of sketches from Marc Newson's notebook, and we can see here him playing around with various design elements. And we can also see how every single piece of the car was designed by Mr. Newson, from the wheels, to the lights, to the seats, to even the door handles that open the door from the inside. They're very interesting, integrated right into the armrests. So one of Marc Newson's goals when he designed this car was to create something that was simple, likable, and fun. He wanted to make a car that made you smile every time you saw it, and that certainly does evoke a certain sense of whimsy and does make you smile when you look at it. This car, like I said, was sort of controversial when it first came out. Some people loved it. Traditional car designers didn't like it, but people outside of the traditional automotive world did. And it has kind of stayed this test of time. This car gets reassessed every once in a while. People still think about it, and I always think about it. I can't forget the first time I saw this car, at least in pictures, and it was really exciting to bring it into the museum and see it in person. You kind of want to caress it. It's soft and friendly, and it makes you ask, what is a good design? Should function follow form or form follow function? And it really depends on the application. What is timelessness? Is it something that's simple and basic, or is it something that's more ornate and over-designed? Does that make something stand the test of time? It's different for all of us. So let us know in the comments if you think this is a timeless design, or if you think this is something that looks too much like 1999 and doesn't have a place here in the 21st century. So that's our brief look at the Ford 021C, a concept car really unlike any other, both in concept and execution. I'm Jonee Eisen. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date on all our videos. And when you're in LA, come on down and visit us at the Petersen Automotive Museum.